Hello friends, this is lesson number 73 in the series of British literature in English, and in this lesson we shall discuss Richard Hooker. He is also from the age of Renaissance, and he was born in the year 1554 and died 1600 exactly. He was a priest in a Church of England. Remember, Church of England. So during the introduction of the reign of Elizabeth, that time we discussed the Church of England, and there is a Catholic Church and also the Protestants. So you should remember all the details regarding this. So he followed Church of England. In that church, the Queen or the King of England is considered the supreme. So he is a theologian as well. Theologian, theology. Remember this word also. Theology is the study that is related to God. And he advocated the Anglican Church. Church of England or Anglican Church, both are the same. Anglican. Okay. So one is Catholic Church, we had discussed, and other is against that we had, that is Protestant. And Queen Elizabeth find a midway between the two, and she formed Anglican Church or the Church of England. So this is he advocated Anglican Church. So his famous work now, that is of the laws of ecclesiastical polity. Ecclesiastical, okay, this is a very confusing word. This is also related to heaven or God or something that is super. So regarding that, divine powers. So of the laws of ecclesiastical polity. This book was published, or this work actually is contained in 8 books. The first 4 books, they were published in the year 1594, one was in 1597, and the remaining 3 books, they were published posthumously, means after his death. So one big fact you have to remember, that he supported Anglican Church. So it means that he was against the Protestants. And also remember one more term, that is Puritans. Protestants or Puritans, okay, both are having differences a little bit, but you can say they were very rigid in their principles or in their laws, and he was against them. So Puritans and Protestants, they were quite strict. For Puritans, we can say they were more strict. Protestants, they were against the Catholics. They were in the they were of the belief that one should read Bible and interpret. The people like Martin Luther, we have discussed. So you should go back, and if you haven't gone through those videos, first you go through them. Anyway, so in this work, he is giving a reply to the Puritans or against the Puritanism. He is saying that one should follow, people of England, they should follow threefold authority of the Anglican Church. And what is that threefold authority? The first is Bible. One should read Bible and try to get message, try to get preachings, try to get whatever he wants to know from Bible. And here Bible means the original scriptures. Original scriptures, one should read them. And then the second, if he does not get any message, or he does not get the required message or guidance, then he should go for the tradition of church. Now tradition of church means he should go to the church, to the bishop, to the priest. He may give him better interpretations. And if still he is not getting Then the third, that is reason. One should go for reason. Reason, you all know that the thing Francis Bacon talked about. Try to analyze the things on the basis of logics and reasons. And these are the threefold authorities of Anglican Church, which is said by or recommended by Richard Hooker. So remember these three things, because there was once a question. We shall discuss the same question pretty soon. Now further. So whatever we have now discussed, on the basis of that, we can easily say that he was against the Puritanism. The people of, or the follower of Puritanism, they were very strict in their, uh, you can say, practices. They were very strict in their rules. So they think everything related to Bible or to the church very sacred. They had very hard principles. And Richard Hooker says that the Puritans, the follower of Puritans or Puritanism, they are very confused. They respect the Queen. Puritans, they respect the Queen, but they do not respect the Anglican Church. So people of England, they must respect the Anglican Church, and they should pledge to serve the Queen, because she is the supreme magistrate and the governor of this country. So one basic principle of the Anglican Church you should remember, because in Catholic Church, the Pope of Rome or Italy is considered the supreme, the highest one. In Anglican Church, the Queen of England or the King of England, whoever it is, that will be considered the supreme to take any decision, and all the people should respect him. So this is the principle he followed. So he was against the Puritans. And one more term we have, Presbyterianism. Sorry, I should pronounce this word like Presbyterianism. It's not a pre, it's a Presbyterianism. This is also the term that is so close to the Puritans. So they have similar sort of religious practices. We shall discuss about them, but first there are a few more facts. Uh, Here we have Richard Hooker. He is against the Puritans for some of the things. Which are these things? That is, the scriptures alone is the rule should govern all the human conduct. So, scriptures are to be considered above everything. Who believe this? The Puritans. And Richard Hooker is against this. Scriptures alone cannot be supreme. Second, the Puritans believed that the Church of England or English Church is corrupted because they have the impact of the Catholic priest or Catholic orders. So the Puritans believed English Church is corrupted one. And the foremost and very important point, the Puritans believed that the elderly persons or elderly people should be the head of the church, not the bishops. Anglican Church, in the Anglican Church, bishop, the priest, they are the head. But the Puritans believe or they want that the head of the church should be elderly people. They should be the head. Further, no civil governor. No civil governor to be given power over the church. No one should have power above the church. This is what, or this is the Puritans believed, because we studied that in Anglican Church or in the Church of England, Queen Elizabeth is the supreme. But here they are saying, the Puritans, they are saying that no official person, no king, no queen should be above the church. And one more, they are saying that whatever is given in the scriptures is unchangeable, unalterable. So one should take everything from the scriptures only, it cannot be changed. Now, these are the 4 or 5 things which I told you. These are the basic followings or the basic principles of the Puritans. And Richard Hooker, he wrote his works against these principles. And there is a one work, actually, I should write this name here, that is, okay, somewhat important. The Admonition. Admonition. Okay, this work, Admonition. This is admonition to the Parliament of England. This is the full name, the admonition to the Parliament of England. There is also second version, means the second admonition to the Parliament of England. There are 2 works which were written in the year 1572. Okay, the first part is written in 1572. It is something like a manifesto. Manifesto of Puritans. So what are their plans or what are their desires to do? So this is called the Manifesto of Puritans, which is written by John Field. Okay, name is not that important, but just remember the admonition to the Parliament. This work contains the principles of the Puritans. One more name we can add, like Thomas Cartwright. Yes, Thomas Cartwright. He was also in this movement of Presbyterianism or Puritans. Thomas Cartwright. I should write the name. Thomas Cartwright. So whatever is written in these books, the admonition to the Parliament, or even the works written by Thomas Cartwright, whatever is written, that is in support of Puritanism. And we have the writer Richard Hooker. He simply countered their points and he supported the Church of England. So there is one more name, actually, that is with the John Field, that is Thomas Wilcox. Okay, so they wrote the work, the admonition to the Parliament. When they wrote these works and they talked about the scriptures, they advocated the elders, and then Queen Elizabeth, she took strict actions against them. Many of the followers of Puritans were executed. Even the people like Thomas Cartwright, he was forced to flee from England. So she was simply against the Puritans. And that is all I think we have for this lesson of Richard Hooker. So it's all about against the Puritans and supporting the Anglican Church when we discuss Richard Hooker. So some of the questions we have: the theological treatise or treatise Ecclesiastical Polity was written by, so pretty simple, Richard Hooker. Richard Hakluyt, we pretty soon discussed this writer. Francis Bacon, we have already discussed. Raphael Holinshed, you remember this name? This is a writer and he has written a chronicle. And this chronicle contains source for most of the works of William Shakespeare. So at least you should be aware of the names. Whatever the name comes to before you, you should be able to at least recall 1 or 2 things about that. Next question. In his masterpiece of the laws of the ecclesiastical polity, okay, old names, old-fashioned English, so whatever it, whichever way they are spelled. Richard Hooker affirmed the Anglican tradition of that as that. Just read this one carefully. Richard Hooker affirmed the Anglican tradition, means he supported the Anglican tradition as threefold cord, not quickly broken. So he supported the threefold authority or whatever principles. He specifically, okay, it may be just miswritten, refer to the following except. So which are the three things he supported and which one he did not support? So tradition, scripture, community, and reason. The answer is community. He did not talk about community. He talked about the Bible scriptures, he talked about the tradition, he also talked about the tradition of church and also about reason. And one last question, match the columns now. So far we have discussed many of the writers in British literature, so some of the names even you would be sure of. So just try to match them. Okay, one you can easily do. Just we have done Richard Hooker to be matched with of the laws of the ecclesiastical polity. Apart from that, Thomas Nash, University wit, Thomas Nash from Cambridge he is, and his important work is The Unfortunate Traveller. So even if you get two right, two options you can place them correctly, I think you can easily choose the right option. But we shall do the other two options as well. So Anatomy of Melancholy. Who has written this? This work is written by Robert Burton. Robert Burton has written The Anatomy of Melancholy. We shall do this work pretty soon. And then Thomas Brown or Brownie has written the work Urn Burial. Urn Burial. Okay. When we discuss these writers, then you will easily remember. So that's all for this lesson. Just remember this one name of the laws of the ecclesiastical polity. So thank you and have a very, very nice day.